Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. Rays Rewind with Bell, Bushman, and Drew.
Jansen. That is into center field. Here comes Kiermaier. Phillips has tied the game. Arose Arena coming around. Throw home. Now he stumbles. But the ball gets away. Tampa Bay wins it. Brett Phillips, Game 4 hero.
The sickest Tampa Bay Rays podcast. It's gonna be sick.
Hey, welcome everybody back into another episode of the Rays Rewind podcast, the sickest Tampa Bay Rays podcast on the Sick Podcast Network. I've got a hair in my eye and it's itching like crazy before we start the show. What the heck, man? God, and we're live too, which is kind of funny. Yeah, we're
live episode.
And Drew, your camera looks fantastic, by the way.
It does.
Yeah,
it came back.
Yeah, it came back. Yeah. So if you're joining us live, we are live here on our YouTube channel at the Sick Podcast Rays Rewind. We're also live on X on my X page at the L Bushman. Thanks for joining us for a live edition. It is our trade reaction show. We're going to go over the trades that the Tampa Bay Rays made this afternoon and over the weekend. We'll give the grades that for this trade deadline for 2026. We'll also discuss the kinds of trades that they did. Did they add? Did they not add? Did they miss a couple things? And then we'll go into winners and losers for the rest of the show. But let's get right into it. Our first trade for the trade deadline for the Tampa Bay Rays was, well, we added a starting pitcher. The Rays traded for Mets a starting pitcher, Freddie Peralta, by giving away top 30 prospect Gary Gill, Aiden Smith, and Emilio Petrie. Guys, what do we think of getting Freddie Peralta? Hopefully Kyle Snyder can fix him.
I think this is a super fun trade. I think it's easy to look at Freddie Peralta's numbers from this year and be like, why are we trading for a guy with a 5 ERA? He's clearly struggling this year. I look at it as you're getting a proven frontline guy for a couple years in the major leagues. And the Rays are betting on what they do best. We've seen it time and time again with player development, but more specifically pitcher development, whether it's Griffin Jacks, Tyler Glass now. There's so many more examples of taking in guys that have had success prior, or maybe they haven't had success. They come in the Rays pitching lab and they turn into demons. I think this is a great move for the Rays. Like I said, super fun. And I don't think they gave up a lot. Obviously, 3 prospects. A 3-for-1 is, you don't see it too often, but I think out of these 3 guys, Gary Gill, Aiden Smith, and Emilio Petrie, I don't know if they're going to be, play a big role for the Mets, maybe a platoon bat or whatever it is. But I think it's a fun deal. I like Freddie Peralta. I think Kyle Snyder's, definitely pumped about it. Get him in the Rays pitching lab, and hopefully he can have a good 2 months going.
Drew, before we get into your point, I want to let's kind of rewind it back. I know that the conversations was, the Rays could be all in to go after Tarek Skubal, and that didn't go down. I think we all got the gut punch and the oh no tweets when it came out that the Dodgers traded for him. I think it was at midnight on Saturday night that happened, and I looked at that and said, no, but no, as in if there was any other team to get him, it should have been somebody else. But of course, the Dodgers, who said they did not really need him but wanted him anyways, so they got him. Which, look, it's the Dodgers. The Dodgers can pretty much do whatever they want. I wanted to ask you guys this question: is do you think the Rays made calls? Do you actually think they were maybe in that conversation about getting Skubal over here, or do you think it was just kind of like, hey, these are all just rumors before the deadline happens? What do you guys think? Do you think the Rays were actually in on him, or was it just kind of like smoke and mirrors right now?
I mean, I would imagine they were in on him. I'm sure reporting will come out in the next few days, hopefully. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe it'll be some random Mark Topkin line in 2 years where we find out what, maybe when Theo Gillen is debuting or, crushing it up here in the majors, they'll throw a line in about how the Rays, didn't really go after Tarek School because they weren't going to be able to get him without trading Gillen. I don't know. But I would imagine they were in on it.
Yeah.
I
Do you think
agree.
the cost was just way too high because of what the Tigers got back in that trade wasn't earth shattering. It wasn't franchise altering with what they got back for Skubal. Do you think maybe when the Rays possibly made that phone call, it was like, all right, we want this, and that, we want top 5 prospects, or because from what the Tigers got back to me, it was just it was like, okay, what, it wasn't all that much for Skubal.
I think it was a pretty decent return, and with the return leading with Zaire Hope from the Dodgers being a young, crazy power speed combo prospect and outfielder, it makes me think that the trade talks ended when the Tigers maybe wanted Theo. I think our system, Evan Koski had a good breakdown of it. He was kind of comparing Zaire Hope, the closest outfield prospect we have to that is Theo. So I do think they went after Skubal, but I imagine they just didn't want to give up Theo, which is interesting because all the reports before that were young, controllable starting pitching like an Ian Seymour, which they did get with a River Ryan. But I thought maybe that would be more important. But it looks like my best guess is they really wanted the front piece to be an outfielder, which is Theo in the Rays system. And I don't think Neander was, wanting to do that, which we'll see. I think there would have been a bag of fans saying, we shouldn't have traded Theo for Skubal, or yes, we got Skubal. Like, we'll just have to wait and see. But that's my best guess.
Yeah, because after this happened, it's like, okay, the Rays now have to pivot to the next probably available arm on the block right now. And Freddie Peralta to me was that guy. Obviously, he's having a down year. Maybe that's due in part he's on the Mets. That's probably a part of it. Drew, what do you think of the trade that happened to get Freddie Peralta over to the Rays?
I'll be honest, guys. I'm pretty down on the whole deadline.
Really?
I am.
I'm taking the graphic down. And I know everybody hates the AI I use for graphics on Twitter. They hate it. So I'm going to take it down for right now, just so you can have the center square.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, so I won't get into everything about what they did so far because I know we'll talk about the other trades. As far as Freddie Peralta goes, I like him. I like the idea of the trade, right? It's one of the better rental pitchers. They obviously weren't going to go after a pitcher that they wanted to keep their costs, their opportunity, or the cost of acquiring a pitcher on the lower end. I think he's a good, reclamation project, but you're going to get at most 10 starts from him this year, probably, right? If there's like 50 games left and he starts every 5th game, you're thinking 10 starts. I don't know if that's enough time to really help him rediscover what he was last year, because he's arguably one of the worst pitchers in baseball, one of the worst starting pitchers in baseball this year, statistically. I get that there's a lot playing into it with the Mets, and they're kind of a mess as a whole. And there is that proven track record. I think right now, if he improves somewhat, right, let's say there's some improvement. He's not as bad as he has been, because if that's the case, then we're in trouble. But if, let's say, he gets back halfway to what he was last year, I still think he's probably not even your second game. You're not even your game 2 starter right now. My big belief with the Rays this year is that in order to have the biggest impact to their chances of winning the AL, competing for a World Series, it was getting a top line starter. I really do believe that, and I don't think they did that. So as a whole, it's I think if it was Freddie Peralta, and I don't mind Peralta. It sounds like he's going to be a great addition to the team. He's a vibes guy, apparently. A lot of the guys were talking about it on Sunday, and fastballs play really well at the Trop, according to Griffin Jacks, right? And so I think there's a lot of hope and optimism that he'll be a positive add. I just think I would have felt better about Peralta being the move if they would have gotten another starting pitcher, another proven guy, because I really just don't think, they're having to fend off the Yankees and the Red Sox now, right? The Red Sox are scorching hot. I just don't think that Peralta makes your pitching any better in a playoff series right now. And
are you more disappointed that they didn't get? I know about the pitching because they didn't get another pitcher. Are you more disappointed they didn't go out and get a second baseman, another bat in the lineup, because this will kind of transition to our next trade that we're going to be doing. I mean, I was kind of on, the Freddie Peralta trade went down. I was happy about that. I'm like, okay, maybe we're going to start seeing some more action from Eric and company. And then that didn't really happen until Monday. A rise started, like dominoes started to fall about guys that we thought we were going to get at the deadline. They started to fall, and it just kept going and going and going. And it's like, okay, we need a bat. What are we doing here? And then the trade comes out that the Rays get our catcher for the next 4 years in Liam Hicks by trading with the Miami Marlins, by sending over Braden Taylor, Adrian Santana, and Jacob Kisting. We got some comments right now. A Rays fan, Gio, are you all watching the Rays game? The Rays game doesn't start for another 20 minutes, but we probably will be watching the game.
I'm going to put it on my phone as soon as it comes on.
And then Rays fan Gio, of course, says, I wish we got more bullpen help. I think with that, I think we've got a good bullpen. I think Manny's coming back. Tyler Wells came over in that trade with Baltimore. I think we're good on bullpen. I think the rotation is it's still kind of a work in progress with what we're going to see later in August and then September, hopefully in the playoffs. Yeah.
I think with the bullpen specifically, I think just having one addition, because you're assuming Manny Rodriguez is coming back in another.
Oh, he's coming back.
In another week, right? So I think you're really getting. I hate the line of, injuries at the deadline, guys coming back, injured players coming back. It's like we got a acquisition, but, considering we haven't had Manny Rodriguez all season, I treat it as such in this case. So you're really getting two guys coming back to the bullpen with Tyler Wells and Rodriguez. I think in a playoff setting, because really that's what we have to be thinking about. We don't know exactly where in the playoffs they'll be. The division is not sealed by any means. Right. So they might be a wild card team. They could be a second wild card team. I actually right now think that I don't know if they have enough to fend off the teams right now. So
you've been very what's the word I'm looking for? Pessimistic. Yeah. Cause you and I were texting about, the Red Sox are red hot right now. And then I kind of said that yesterday too, that they could probably catch and jump over the Yankees and then come for our throats.
They're for real too. They just swept the Dodgers in LA. Anyway, back to the bullpen. I think you think about a playoff series, Ian Seymour's not going to be a starter in the playoffs. So you're going to, because I think about the AL teams they're going to have to face. You're going to need good left-handed relievers. Clevenger's been up and down, been better recently, but he hasn't been as, I don't feel like, again, I don't know what the stats say right now. I just feel like he hasn't been as good as recent years, but he's been better the last month or two. Boozer's been great, for the most part. And so then you have Seymour. So you have three lefties, and between them, Rodriguez, Kelly, Wells, Baker, how many is that? 6, 7? Yeah. You might put one more guy in the bullpen, whether that's a Griffin Jacks, in a 5-game series, or you might
see. I was thinking that too, because once Shane comes back, you can maybe put Jacks back in the bullpen just for that extra arm and help.
Probably as a swing man. There's going to be times where you're going to have in playoff games, you're going to have the guys coming out of the bullpen in the 4th inning. Where you got to have them go 2 or 3 innings. So Jacks and Seymour both could fill that role. I just think and there's also a possibility a Ty Johnson, maybe a Brody Hopkins. I actually think more Ty Johnson, and you can see that because they've got Ty Johnson pitching in the bullpen now in Durham.
In the bullpen, and he's still in Durham today. He could have very well been a trade candidate. So I think it means a lot to put him in the bullpen and have him stick with us.
So I think the one bullpen addition that they did make with Tyler Wells, the Savant page looks great. Obviously there's a little camaraderie, you think, with Brian Baker coming from the Orioles just, last year. Obviously, it's turned out really well. They've Tyler Wells has 50-something innings already this season. So I don't know, he was coming back from injuries the last couple of years. So I don't know what that looks like towards the end of the year. Hopefully it's not. He was a starter before, so hopefully it's not a situation where he's breaking down. But I'm okay with the one addition.
Okay.
That's the bullpen. I'm not too worried about at this point, considering what we have coming back.
Okay. All right. So let's get into the trade that I think a lot of people were very excited about, was us getting Liam Hicks from the Miami Marlins. Look, I've got nothing against Miami. I really do. But when it comes to trades, they get fleeced all the time. I don't know what Bennett is doing right now, but it just seems like we just fleece them all the time. But I think this is a fantastic trade for the Tampa Bay Rays. They get a really good catching player for the next 4 years, controllable catcher. He's been hitting great. He's going to be a great addition to that lineup too. And I think what we gave up is really good to get Liam Hicks into the lineup. A lot of people were just like waiting for something to drop. This dropped. I know Adley Rushman was in that conversation too about maybe we should trade for Adley, but Liam Hicks was out of this trade. Guys, what are your thoughts about Liam Hicks coming over to the Rays?
I really like this trade. Again, I think this is a fun one. It's similar to the Peralta deal where the Rays are betting on what they do best, but also acquiring a guy who fits the identity of this offense perfectly. He makes a lot of contact, but has got some pop too. And I think to me, the biggest thing is you have 4 years of control with Liam Hicks. Looks like we got Hicks is a great move, and it is. He's got 4 years of control. And personally, I do not mind the package we gave up. Braden Taylor has had a little bit of a resurgence this year, but this is his third go at AA, and he was a first-round pick. Adrian Santana is a fun one. Fun fact, I actually got to watch him a lot when I lived in South Carolina when he was a Charleston River Dog, and I sat next to his dad once. And his dad was like the nicest guy ever. I believe his dad played pro ball for a little bit too, but his dad was super, super cool. So shout out to him. And then Jacob Kisting is a guy who's really had an amazing year and kind of skyrocketed onto the scene. So I really like what we gave up. I think maybe Braden Taylor has the potential to be a guy and like play a role, but I think Liam Hicks is a much needed bat added to the lineup. 4 years of control. I do have some concern about kind of like the Hunter Goodman conversation we had last podcast of like, where does he fit exactly? Because I know he is a catcher, but recently he's been playing more first base, more DH. And obviously you have Yandy like permanently in the DH spot. So I don't think it'll be a problem, but I do think we might see Kevin Cash get a little more creative on what days is he catching? Does he play first base? You know, who we put in the DH and things like that. But that's really my only concern about it.
Certainly you can have him at first base, especially with Aranda kind of struggling right now in the lineup too. So you can give a little bit more rest to Aranda too as well. I like the fact that him and 40 are going to be teammates again. So that's, good chemistry right there in the catching position. Overall, I'm happy. Look, we finally have a good catcher for the next 4 years. Like, we don't have to rely on going out and shopping around and getting free agents that were dropping other teams. Like, we have a controllable catcher for the next 4 years. And while that 4 years is happening, the development of Caden Bodine and Fuelling is going to happen too as well. So by the time, Hicks is going to be a free agent, those guys will probably be ready to go up in the big. So I love this trade. Love it for the Rays. I think it's going to be good. Drew, what about your thoughts on the Liam Hicks trade?
Yeah, it's okay.
Oh, God.
It's okay. I mean, he's having a great season. I think the 4 years of control, like all that stuff is great. We definitely got the better end of this deal. I don't think that the return, like, you gave up, like, who cares? Like, I'm sure Adrian Santana or Brandon Taylor will reappear in 3 years on some random team and be scorching hot like Tristan Peters did this year or something random like that. That's just the nature of Rays trading away their minor leaguers. I think that he is a good addition for this lineup as is. It's, again, for me, it's just not enough. Like, I just don't.
I get what you're saying. It's not enough because we didn't get a second baseman. That was the biggest need of all, was a second baseman, another power bat in there. And, I really thought we were going to get a rise, and then, the Phillies came in. I guess, I know the asking price was really high on him. They gave up a lot to get a rise, who was a rental anyways. I thought that the Rays would probably pivot and maybe go at, Drew, you and I talked about Gleyber Torres too as well. And I talked about it with Ethan from running from the ops at the game on Sunday about, getting Gleyber Torres too. But I thought they were going to pivot and do something like that too. So I see where you're coming from. It is kind of it's a middle of the road B+ trade deadline kind of grade, but I get where you're coming from.
Yeah. There could have been more. I realize that like I'm probably in the minority on this. Your big offensive addition is a guy that you're platooning. He's not going to play against lefties.
Right.
So now, if you're I'm just thinking down the road. If you're in a 5-game series against the Red Sox or a 7-game series, it would be a 5-game, right? Like say we win the division and they beat the Yankees in the wild card. So we're in a 5-game series against the Red Sox. Outside of Sonny Gray, it's gonna be all left-handed pitching.
Mm-hmm.
They've got good left-handers in the bullpen. They've got good left-handed starters. They are gonna beat you to death with left-handed. And so now our big trade deadline offense, acquisition for the lineup is a guy that we're not even going to start against lefties. So, do I think that he'll be helpful during the season? Yes, I do. I don't think it's particularly the best addition, thinking big picture in a playoff setting. Now, it helps lengthen the lineup a little bit. It finally allows probably Kevin Cash to shuffle the lineup a little bit to where either, against righties, right, Aranda could maybe be behind Junior, or Liam Hicks could be behind Junior. God forbid we do not have to start Cedric Mullins again behind Junior. And I just think it's just not enough. Like it just
I get that. Okay, so hypothetically to you two, okay, if we didn't win the East, we're in the wild card. Are we getting bounced in the first round?
Yes. The ceiling.
No, but I know. I agree with you because they're not fully equipped for that yet. They're still incomplete. I get that. We didn't do enough of the deadline. They're incomplete. The lineup's incomplete going into the playoffs. I really want to know Neander's aggressiveness. Like you weren't that aggressive. Like, let's be honest. Were you that aggressive?
In the grand scheme of things, no, but for Rays standards, it was maybe one of the more aggressive, or for Eric Neander's, deadlines, a more aggressive deadline that we've ever seen him. But I do get the frustration. I really thought in that last 30 minutes we were going to see some kind of middle infielder or just some kind of another bat pop up, and we just didn't. Do I think if we don't win the AL East, will we get bounced in the first round? I don't think so. I think the front four, the bullpen and starting pitching, and the guys at the bottom can play Rays ball and play to our identity enough to maybe get us out. But again, is just being enough good enough? Probably not. But yeah, I really thought we were getting another bat, another second baseman, Gleyber Torres, Cody Clemens, Zach Geloff, something. So was a little disappointed at the buzzer today.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, the way they've been playing lately with the offensive bit has been super cold. And I'm glad that they're cold now instead of later on this month and into September. But we're going into Colorado this week. You gotta sweep Colorado before you're gonna face Seattle this weekend. So I'm hoping that they do that. The rest of the moves that we make, bringing in Tyler Wells is great. Some relief help too as well. But with you guys, yes, I agree. Look, to me, it's a B+ at the trade deadline. I wish they would have done more. A lot of people are saying, hey, it was kind of a middle of the road trade deadline acquisition. We got 2 big acquisitions on it, but yes, there could have been more. I was hoping for more. I was hoping for last minute, hey, we've got one more in us. It's a huge blockbuster deal, but that didn't happen. So I think we'll probably hear more and more coming out probably as the week goes on about, okay, who we were in on, who was costing way too much, who the Rays didn't want to give up. Again, we're Drew and I, you talked about this. We talked about this last year. It's the coveting of prospects again, that they should have given up top 5 prospects to bring in like another bat to help out the lineup. So, all right, let's move on to trade deadline winners and losers. Who were our winners and losers for this year? Sean, I will go to you first.
Well, I have one big winner, and that is the Los Angeles Angels, because for once in the last 10 years, they realized, hey, we're not going to be competitive. Instead of buying at the deadline, what if we sold? And they finally did it. So they made a handful of moves that I can't even recall all of them off the top of my head. The biggest I think sending Jose Soriano over to Toronto for Toronto's top prospect, Namala. But I know they made a handful of other moves, but without even going into their moves, I think it's just a win that they finally sold. It feels like the past 5 or 6 years, they just buy and buy and buy. And then in 2 weeks, they already know they're out of it. So shout out the Angels for actually buying. They would be my winner. And then I assume this is everybody's loser, but I think it's got to be the Yankees. I do like Luis Garcia, and I also do like Ramos, which Ramos is fine. But I think the Yankees were expecting a lot more. And I wonder if Cashman was expecting a lot more too, and just didn't.
I think Yankees fans were expecting a lot more. I think Yankees fans were the only people like they were expecting a lot more. So.
Yeah, they seem pretty upset.
They were in on Rushman too, weren't they?
Yeah, they were. Well, they said Cashman was talking with them, but then nothing came to fruition. So it's Brian Cashman for you. So, and your loser. What did you have for a loser? Oh, you said New York Yankees. Sorry about that. All right. Drew, who are your winners and losers?
Big winner is the LA Dodgers because they got Scooble.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody that gets Scooble is the big winner, in my opinion. So I'll just leave it at that. And then loser, Yankees. I don't know. I feel like the Orioles. I'll pick a different one. Only because I know that they got whatever return. Like I think Fournette is a really good return for Tyler Wells, which is funny because they got him back from us. But I don't know. I just thinking about them like big picture wise, like they had that big teardown in the late teens and early 2020s, right? And they were awful, and they got all those picks, and then they were supposed to be like the next big team for several years, and they didn't win a single playoff game. I mean, they had that one year where they, ran us down in the divisional race. They didn't win a playoff game that year. They didn't win a playoff game in 2024, and then everything kind of blew up last year. So it's kind of just crazy. Like, obviously, the Astros did something similar, and it really paid off, and they're still riding that. They've been nothing but a contender since. But yeah, I don't know. Not that it's sad. Like, I don't feel bad for him. I just feel bad for the fans a little bit. Like, Adley was like the guy. He was like the guy that really started that transition from bottom feeder to contending. I mean, that year they didn't make the playoffs that year, but they were much better after he came up. I mean, he debuted against the Rays and really
it was supposed to be like him, Henderson, and then also Holiday that were supposed to take the Orioles into the next stratosphere.
And Holiday, and Mayo, and I mean, they traded away Kyle Stowers before he really even showed anything, and he ended up, being decent, doing a decent job with the Marlins. Like, just the fact that it ended the way it did for them, and that kind of now they could still make the playoffs this year potentially, but I don't know. I would say that the fans have to be furious. So I would say them.
Okay.
Besides, and I wouldn't qualify the Rays as a loser. I just have overall thoughts that
you're a meh. You're a meh. You're meh.
I'm less than a meh, but
you're less than. So you're. So if you gave them
worse than a meh,
I want you to go. I want you to go. I'm not gonna.
Okay. I would say winners would be the Pittsburgh Pirates. They definitely upgraded with a lot of pitching help and their relievers and everything. Losers, I would say the Texas Rangers. They basically did nothing. So I would say Texas Rangers.
But they listened on everybody.
Yeah, they listened on everybody, but they didn't pull the trigger on anything. So I would say the Texas Rangers, who we thought was either first they were going to be buyers, and all of a sudden I think at the 11th hour, like, no, we're selling everybody. We're going to we'll take offers on anybody, but then didn't do anything. So I would say Texas Rangers would be my loser for the trade deadline, winners and losers. All right, so great. I mean, Drew, what would be your grade? Would it be just a C minus since you're kind of below a meh?
Yeah, I'd say C minus.
Okay.
Can I explain why? Can I get this off my chest real quick?
Yes, of course you can.
All right.
We're in a safe space. We're on X. Don't worry.
Drew,
X and YouTube.
I intentionally held off. I know in our group chat.
Do you want me to make you an AI slop graphic that everybody hates on Twitter? Do you want me to make you one of those?
No.
Okay. Should it be a thank you card?
I was intentionally holding off on reacting to what was happening until I was like, all right, I'm just going to give it till the end of the deadline before I really, because, as things were happening, I wanted to say, like, I'm just, feeling certain things. And it just, wanted to wait till the end. So
we got a comment from the great Charcoal 4668 on YouTube. Why are you mad on the Rays? Well, we're just about to get into that.
Yeah.
I would have liked a
Why am I
second
mad?
base, but I mean, what is there to complain about?
I'll be honest. This is not a serious organization that wants to win a championship right now. Like, I really don't believe that they want to win a championship right now. You're talking about a season where everything has fallen into place. Junior just hit a home run, by the way.
Two-run shot.
Opposite field to Rays fan Gio. Yes, I am watching the game on my phone.
Drew, I gave you the center square so you can explain why.
Sorry, I apologize. Junior hits homers. It's hard to focus.
I got you. What was your first line again? This organization is what?
I don't think they're serious about winning a championship this year.
And that's our clip of the week, everybody.
And I realize that's probably over dramatic, but you're looking at a season where everything has fallen into place for them, right? Like, so they weren't expected to win the division this year. No one, I know I saw internal projections. I think I saw a Bob Nightingale article a few weeks back. Rays internal projections had them winning 90 games. I would think even at 90 wins, you wouldn't expect to win the division necessarily in the AL East, but certainly a playoff team. So they're even outperforming, I think, what their own internal projections are showing. Aaron Judge is out. They've got so many injuries on the Yankees. Aaron Judge might not play again this season. We don't know. I mean, they're really coy about it. It's really weird. They've got great pitching on the Yankees, but Aaron Judge is out. The Yankees are struggling offensively. Red Sox got off to a terrible start, way worse than their overall skill is, right? They're coming back, obviously playing incredible baseball. And they're kind of evening out to where I think a lot of people thought they would be. But you're looking at a situation where the AL is set up perfectly for the Rays to take advantage. They've built up their farm system to where they've got one of the deepest farm systems in baseball. They've got a great blend of top prospects with Theo Gillen, who's come on. I mean, he could be a top 5 prospect going into next year. They've got a couple catchers. They've got Grady Emerson now. They've got, I think 7 or 8 top 100 prospects depending on what site you look at. And when we looked at the Rays and how they fared in playoffs previously, right, it's been about you run into just pitching buzzsaws. I mean, the Rangers dismantled us with their pitching in 2023. They got real hot, of course. But you think about like the Astros in 2019 with Garrett Cole and Justin Verlander, like we just had no shot against them. Even though it went 5 games, like we didn't, outside of that one game against Verlander because he was gassed, like they had Garrett Cole to come in game 5 and shut us down. It really does, like in playoff baseball, you need that ace guy. And there was a guy out there, Tarek Skubal. And I get like you say, oh, they have to give up Theo Gillen. I don't think that's true. Now, it could be. Like, I don't know what the conversations were. No one does. No one actually knows what the conversations were. I don't think that the Dodgers or the Tigers, maybe they were like, if you don't give us Gillen, we're not giving you Skubal. If that's the case, then okay. I understand you not wanting to go after Skubal. That's a rich price to pay. Then go get Peralta, go get another guy. You have pitchers that are going to be struggling down the stretch. Rasmussen, he's going to be up at an innings limit. McClanahan's already breaking down a little bit. Martinez has been great. I think he's probably pitching a little bit above his weight right now. Like, I think he's going to have some regression. Griffin Jacks is extended. Seymour's extended. Like, you need guys to come in and get innings. And the one pitcher you got is a guy that can barely go 5 innings right now. Granted, it's a disaster at the Mets, but there's no guarantee he's going to be anything close to what he was last year. So you had an opportunity to go out and get arguably the best pitcher in the American League in baseball by dealing from a prospect haul that you've built up over the last few years for this exact reason. I believe for this exact reason, to go out and be a difference maker in an AL that is yours for the taking. They didn't do that. Then they go out and get Liam Hicks, who's a great addition on its own. Like, I'm fine with it. But you're telling me this Rays team is going to field a playoff lineup with Cedric Mullins in center field, probably Ben Williamson starting at second base, or Ryan Vilade starting at second base. We saw how Ryan Villet played at second base on Sunday. Ben Williamson also not really that great. Like, he's been okay. He's had a couple good moments. He's been okay. You had an obvious second base target in Luis Ariz. Yes, the Phillies gave up their 4th-ranked prospect. That's probably like a Michael Ferret for us. So we overpaid for Tyler Wells and gave up Michael Ferret when we probably could have gotten Luis Ariz. So the fact that there was just so many obvious options for them at obvious positions of need, and they didn't address it, in my opinion, to the length that they should have, shows me that they are, I don't think, as serious as I thought about winning a World Series this year.
So let me ask you, when do you think they're going to be serious? Is it when new stadium gets built, payroll is going to be expanded more?
I think the reality is it probably wouldn't be until the stadium is opening in 2029, because
and then payroll
then you're going to have Emerson hopefully knocking down the door if he's not already. You're going to have, Bodine or Flewelling.
But Drew, why wouldn't they be serious now when there's possibly going to be a lockout next season?
I don't know. Why wouldn't they go out and get a rental starting pitcher like Scoot? I just don't.
I know.
Why wouldn't they be serious now? I'm sure it becomes.
This is the most serious I've ever seen Drew talk about the Rays. Probably not going to make any kind of noise.
I'm part of the problem. I'm part of the problem because I'm going to watch. I'm going to watch every game.
You're being a realist. You're being a realist. No, I get it. You're being a realist on this.
And I'm going to watch good. I'm going to watch every game of this team the second half, and I'm just, I don't know. I had, I put up with Palacios.
We've got comments that agree with you. This year was literally the perfect opportunity to go in. If not this year, when? No, I totally agree with that. I've been saying it all weekend. Like, if this was, we've been saying it all year. Like, if this was a year to go all in and go for it, this would be the year because of where we're at, how many prospects we have. No, I agree with you. I do. I'm still on the fence about if we're even going to hold on to the AL East, just the way the Red Sox are playing right now and the way they're just tearing up people. They just swept the Dodgers, for God's sake. The Dodgers.
In LA.
In LA. Yeah, trust me. I am the team I am worried about the most is the Red Sox. The Red Sox, who everybody counted out before the All-Star break, was saying they're gonna sell everybody, they're gonna trade everybody after the deadline, and now they're 5 games back of a slim lead. 5 games is nothing in the next 2 months. I'm a little scared.
I mean,
so I agree with you.
You think about the playoffs. There is not maybe the Astros. We would have better pitching then. You're not going to have better pitching than the Red Sox if they have Crochet back, especially. You're not going to have better pitching than the Yankees in a series because it's not like this regular season. You're not going to go against Will Warren and Ryan Weathers in a 5-game series. You're going to go against Cam Schlittler for 2 games, Max Fried for another game, Garrett Cole for another game, and then Warren and Weathers are going to be bullpen guys. And we're going to throw out Drew Rasmussen, who's thrown in, 1 playoff game and didn't do well. We're going to throw out Shane McClanahan, who's thrown in 2 playoff games, who had 1 great game, 1 terrible game. Nick Martinez, has he ever started a playoff game? I don't know. There was just such an obvious opportunity. And then, so if you're not going to get Skubal, go get Peralta. I get it. Game 1 starter for the Brewers last year. That's great. I appreciate that about him. I think he's going to be a valuable asset. You need another guy.
That's if they turn him around. That's if Kyle Snyder can turn him around. Because
I just think you needed more. You had
I agree.
You had so much there. And I don't know what the package would look like for Skubal. In my mind, it would have been, okay, you're not going to give Gillen, but you could go Flewelling. You could go, I don't have, let's see. I mean, you had, Ferret, Hopkins. I don't care. Give him Melton. Who
is now injured yet again, by the way.
Right. None of the players. So, I just think there was a very obvious path to being like, okay, we're for real. We know that we have this opportunity. And yeah, we're probably still going to be overmatched against the Dodgers in the World Series if it gets to that point. But we're going to put our team in the best position to be that team at the end representing the American League. And it's just it was the perfect setup for them to do that this year. And I honestly I question Eric Neander's ability at the deadline. to be honest with you. Like the deadline hasn't
It's
been
another
very
clip of the week. Another clip of the week.
The deadline hasn't been good for it. You look back, like
I agree with you.
The moves he's made before, and I think that they aren't bad like in the moment, but they haven't turned out well. None of the what kind of return did we get in 2024 with guys that has paid off? Right?
Yeah,
we just traded Aiden Smith.
We just traded Aiden Smith. A lot of his big moves have the jury's still out. We gotta wait.
There are so many great trades we can point at in the offseason where we have won the day.
I wonder how real this comment is. Tiger said they didn't want our prospects. We never had a real shot. I highly doubt that.
Okay, and I again, like I don't until we get actual like real deal reporting.
Well, we're gonna have Mark Tompkin on the show pretty soon, so maybe we
I would love to ask him like what he's heard about what those deals, potential offers were looking like. If it wasn't a reality at all, like it was just like it was never going to happen, we were never going to be able to line up with them on a trade, I understand that. Then go do more.
Right.
Sean,
more. What is your take on this? Are you kind of in the same?
I think Drew, it's hard. You can't say any of the points you just brought up. You can't be like, oh no, you're wrong. Like you bring up very valid points. I think Eric Neander is good at his job, and I like to give him the benefit of the doubt and think that with the looming lockout, that maybe that hindered a lot of moves, or he is putting his best foot forward or putting the team in the best position to win. Could they have used another bat? Probably, but this is the most aggressive we've seen him, and I think with the looming lockout, there's so much unknown with that, which I did find it a little odd that we went out and got a Tyler Wells, who I think is through team control at the end of next year. But it's like, how much of next year? Which, Evan, you did say there was going to be a move where it's like, what the hell? That was like obviously bullpen help was needed, but like Tyler Wells was such a random, like, didn't see that coming. But no, I think with the lockout, I like the deadline, and I give him the benefit of the doubt that he is putting the best team out there and that they can be competitive this year with the Rays identity. And I wonder how much they're banking on either moving Valade to second, which Drew, you brought up, he was not very good defensively. And I wonder how much, and I know Jacob Melton just got hurt again, but I believe he's back. It's been like a couple minor injuries, how much they plan to bring him into the fold as an impact bat. But I still believe in Neander, and I think it was a good deadline and give it like a B+, but I can see the frustration. I can understand it for sure.
It's just
let's listen to what Eric Neander had to say. I guess they uploaded a clip, but just there's a 13-minute interview that he just did talking about what they did at the deadline. Here's a little clip of what Eric Neander said about this year's trade deadline moves. Give me 1 second, and we'll post that up real quick.
There's a lot of things we do around here where the gratification comes much, much later. That's kind of our MO. These transactions are laughing right now. So look, our team has the best record in the American League. We believe we just made some moves that will help them be even better. That is really exciting. And
Drew is shaking his head right now.
Just have the chance to sit back, enjoy the ride, and do everything we can to support them.
Okay, that's a part of a 13-minute clip. So if you want to listen to the full clip, you got to go to Tampa Bay Rays, YouTube page and listen to it. So it's a 13-minute clip. Thank you for Buck N0220 for letting us know about that. But Drew, you were shaking your head the whole time.
Yeah. What did he say? What was that line? Gratification comes much later.
Yeah.
Yeah. It always comes much later. Like I just, that's the thing is like, when is it not going to be later? When is it going to be now?
He did say that. I think he said that in the clip.
Everything comes together with the prospects, and that never happens. It never happens. That's not how it works. So like, I get it. I don't know what he's not going to be the guy that goes out and says like, he's not like Brian. He's very measured in how he responds to things. I just don't understand why there is no urgency to say, this is our year to go do it. Let's at least try to go do it. Like, let's not just hope that let's make some moves on the margins. Like, let's go do it. Like, let's get aggressive. Let's be out of character. Like, I don't want to keep seeing about the Rays getting lower risk moves. Like make a high risk move by pushing your chips in at some point. Like it doesn't ever happen. And this felt like the perfect time to do it. You had very clear options to do it with, like that weren't going to cost you past this year. Like, so you don't have to worry about absorbing these huge contracts. Like, go get a
All right, for those of you in the comments, and thank you for joining us in the comments, by the way, for a live edition of Rays Rewind. Do you agree with Drew's comments? Yay or nay? I want to hear them in the comments. So give me a yay or nay in the comments if you agree.
And I'm going to watch every game. That's because I'm a psycho and I can't help myself. And I want to be wrong. I really do. Like I hope
Drew, I'm with you I'm with you all the way, because I came out of this deadline. Okay, we made a couple good moves, but it's just not. It's not enough. It's not enough to go deep in the playoffs. It's not enough.
The ceiling.
I know.
They
I
had
get
an
that.
opportunity to raise the team's ceiling much more than they did.
I know. I get that.
But see, it doesn't mean more money. It means more money for 2 months.
Yeah, I think we can put to bed the rumors from like Buster Only that was saying Eric Neander's like a gunslinger to the other GMs. Like, no, he's not. They're like a gunslinger would have been Scooble, would have been Cattell. Like it would have been like moves that were uncharacteristic. This was still a characteristic Eric Neander deadline with like a little above that. So I think we can put to bed he's not a gunslinger.
So we're about 50-50 in the comments. We've got a slight nay. Rays did a good job for the most part. We really do wish they had another bat. Drew, they got Peralta, Hicks, and Wells. Stop moaning. I'm not upset. I'm just not satisfied. And then Drew wants a team with $150 million payroll. So
I don't want a team with $150 million payroll. I just want a team that's willing to take some
put all the chips in
all the time and make a meaningful addition that's like a big needle mover. And there were clear ways to do that. And to not get one or at least more quantity. Again, it's not the individual guys they got. It's just that the manner in which they got them. Like I would just have rather seen more with what they were getting. I'd rather see more quantity. If they would have done like Luis Ariz in addition to what they got today, or if they would have had, a Reed Detmers, added him, or
See, that's what I thought they were going to do, is add another.
I would have felt a lot better. I would have been like, okay, at least they've got another reinforcement in the lineup that's going to be there every day.
I agree. I thought the last move they were going to make was going to bring in another big starting pitcher to add to the rotation, or at least bring in another bat, and then that didn't happen. And I just felt unsatisfied. I really did.
Like, you're going to overpay for Tyler Wells. Like, I'd rather overpay for Luis Ariz, to be honest with you. Like, I just think you're going to feel that a lot more in October when you've got Ben Williamson up or Richie Palacios. Again, nothing wrong. Like, I like them. I like Richie more, to be honest with you. But, like, I just think you have proven guys you can go get. Like, I don't understand. And they're in a position to do something this year, to really actually make a run, whether or not it ends in a 4-game sweep against the Dodgers. I don't care. Like, I want them to go on a run and not flame out in the first round of the playoffs. And they could have done that and put themselves in a way better spot to do that. And they didn't. And scared money don't make money.
This is true.
Drew,
and
calm
hey,
down.
we can't forget we did get Jack Zawinski.
I'm gonna watch every game.
All right. On that note,
I want to be wrong.
Drew, take a breather, take a timeout, get a drink of water. On that note, we will end the show. Thanks for everybody for joining in the comments on YouTube and also X. We'll probably keep doing live shows for the rest of the season, because
I'm just glad we're getting comments. Like,
we've got a good comment section.
I don't like it. Listen,
makes it fun.
Yeah,
I've seen this too many times. Like, I just, that's fine. I'm just happy people are interacting and watching. I appreciate y'all. And,
we have somebody.
Go Rays.
An everyday bat would have been really great. I agree with Drew there. So I think we all want
Ethan.
to Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Rays.
So for myself, Drew and Sean, yes, Rays up. Hopefully we can get a sweep from the Rays against Colorado this week. We'll see you guys next week on the Rays Rewind podcast, the sickest Tampa Bay Rays podcast on the Sick Podcast Network. If you haven't already, go to our YouTube page, hit the subscribe and notification bell at the Sick Podcast Rays Rewind. We will see you guys next week. Peace.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast Rays Rewind with L. Bushman and Drew on YouTube, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.